Hey guys, Sonic Gaming. I'm going to be drawing a Gaster Blaster. This is going to be my first drawing tutorial, and if you want to see more drawing tutorials, you have to go check out my second channel. I'll leave that in the description below. So go click on that link and subscribe for more drawing tutorials. So, what I'm going to be drawing today, like I said, was I'm going to draw the Gaster Blaster. And what you're going to need is a pencil, a fine point marker, or any marker. It doesn't have to be fine point. I just like fine point markers because then I can get all the outlines to be really thin, and a black pen. And it has to be a black pen. It can't be any other pen. You can have a mechanical pencil or normal pencil. That doesn't matter. You can have any kind of marker. You have to have a black pen or it will not work. So what you do is you basically draw kind of a dragon's eye for like the base of it. It doesn't really have to be perfect because Gaster Blasters are made of bones, and if you don't know what one looks like, you will by the end of this, or if you don't know what one is, then search up Gaster Blaster on Google, Safari, Chrome, Firefox, whatever one you use, and it's from Undertale. So I'll do a lot of Undertale drawing tutorials. So what you should get right now is this shape of it. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but I hope you do. I'm going to come over to the camera and show you guys a little better. But that's what shape you should have on it. I might as well just draw from here. Careful not to knock the camera over. This way I can see what you're seeing. See if you're seeing it right. Now the next step to drawing the Gaster Blaster is to add the fin bit and the back. Right here, remember that little line? That's where you want to start the fin. So don't draw that little line, just so you know where the Gaster Blaster is going. I'm going to put a big line right there on the paper. What you want to do for the Gaster Blaster fin is you can make it look as however you want. What you want to do is you want to take a curve, like an S shape, out from that spot. And I'm going to go down and then curve it up. Now what you want to do, you have it drawn, is you want to curve it downwards into the head. Okay, so I'm going to keep that line there to show you where I started the Gaster Blaster at. Okay, so then the next step to drawing it is you're going to add where the eye goes. So, from the same line where you drew the Gaster Blaster, draw a diagonal line right there. Yeah, that's easy to see. And when you get to the perfect length, what you want it to be, curve it. Like do a C shape. do a C shape right there near the nose, or near the end of the dragon eye. So I drew a line there, again, for purposes for you guys to see where I ended the nose, or the eye bit. But that, you could do whatever you want with it. You can make it go out longer, you can make it go out shorter. What I like to do is line it up with the little point right there that you originally draw. And then from the top, or from the bottom of the C, you curve it in a backwards C. So, you make like a 5 or an S, and what you do is you take the curve right here, and then you curve it into the point and then outwards. I hope you guys know what I'm saying. I don't have anything built or film with, so if you can't see it, I'm sorry. And then from the end of it, you do a diagonal line upwards. And then from that diagonal line upwards, you draw a straight line out. So you should get like a weird S shape. Backwards S. Maybe. And from that point, you curve inwards in a backwards C shape. Like that. And then you go out with it. And you also want to add another backward C shape right in between this one and this point, like in the middle. And that's for the other side of the nose, because it's supposed to be 3D, but in a 2-dimensional piece of paper. And then from the line that we drew right here, coming out the backward C shape, we're gonna extend that out as far as you want. I'm gonna make mine a little bit longer as I can. So I stopped halfway in between the two lines. You don't have to use this kind of paper, but it's easier for beginners. That way, you know how long your dash slash is going to be. I chose to use this paper so that way you could see if you were copying me using the same paper. And what I'm going to do, instead of the normal curve down in a C shape that I'm going to do, you don't have to do this, is curve upwards. Just make a little, like, horn on the end, like a rhinoceros. But it makes it look cooler, because a gas blaster is basically a severed floating dragon head. So, there's a little spike on the end. And from that spike, I curved down the same way I showed you earlier. And you want to evenly space the teeth out. You can put as much teeth as you want, but you gotta make sure the front tooth is the biggest out of them all. And when you get in, words, they're a little bit smaller. So then I'm going to try to stay consistent with that size to the end, but I might not, because no one's perfect at drawing. You can't always draw perfect. I'm going to add one more tooth that is small, and then I'll do the last tooth, which is going to be a little bit bigger. So the last tooth you made is going to be the same size as the front tooth, or a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. Depends on what you want to do. I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger than this tiny teeth, but I'm going to make it a little bit smaller than the bigger tooth, so it doesn't go out as far. I don't know if you could tell, but this tooth right here is just a tiny bit smaller than that tooth. And then, in between all the teeth, you're going to draw more teeth, but you're not going to connect them. You're just going to copy the front tooth, make it a little bit smaller. That's too wide. It's a little bit smaller, like that. That way it's not the same exact size. Let's make it look like it's behind, which it is supposed to be. It's supposed to be the other side of the mouth. And do this for all the teeth, but don't go ahead and draw and do this bottom tooth right here. That doesn't get a second tooth. That stays like that. Okay, so I kind of messed up a little bit while drawing them, so I'll fix this tooth right there. And I'll fix this tooth that's connected. Okay. So then, you probably should have done this first, but I think it's a lot easier to get the eye in later. So, draw the jaw first, and then put the eye in. So right where you have the C shape right there, right in this area, we're going to draw the eye. And you do whatever you want for the eye, but the basic eye is, I'll draw it off the thing, because I'm going to do my own eye. The basic eye is like that, but what I'm going to do is the one on the right there. So now add a little point to the end and make that a bit different. You, of course, don't have to do this. You can do the eye anyway. You don't even have to do it the two ways I showed you. You can do it any way you want. I just like those two eyes the best. They're the ones I usually draw. So then, when you have the eye done, I don't know if you can see that, but you'll see it later when I finish the outline. Is you want to draw a line from like halfway in the eye to close to the point, if you're drawing my way. If you're drawing this way, you want to go like that, like the bottom of the eye outwards. I don't know if you can see that, so I'm going to draw a little bit darker. So like that. And what you're going to do with that, you're going to do diagonally up. Like that. So you have a little thing there. And below it, you're going to do the same. Close to the bottom of the eye. There, you're going to do a line. But don't jump ahead and do the same thing. What you're going to do with this one is you're going to curve it out to here. Because this is going to be one of the other fins. So the line for the fin should come in contact with the bottom right there where this fin comes in contact with the skull. So it should intersect right there, coming over. And then you're gonna, if you want, I'm gonna do this with mine, but if you want, you can curve it upwards. And then, so I'll point it at the end. But then you connect it to the back tooth of the top jaw. And then there's the top jaw done. There. And then for the bottom jaw, actually no, first, I could do one thing. Can I get it look more organic right there, or erased? Instead of curving it down, we're gonna do a little curve, the tooth right there, and we get a little bit straight. And when you get to the right spot, which is right there, you're gonna connect them with the diagonal line, like that. And then that's where the second, like that was where the bottom jaw is gonna start, right at that curved line. So a little bit afterwards, you get a little line down. You bring it down a little bit past the skull. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little point at the end. So I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna erase this bit that I just drew down where it matches with the skull, and I'm gonna do a diagonal line down and curve and do a diagonal line up, so it looks like that. And then I'm gonna do diagonal line down, doing a diagonal line down, and then a straight line all the way across, but I'm going to make this diagonal line a little bit steeper. And again, you don't have to do this, I'm just experimenting with all of my drawing skills, so this might not come out as good as the other ones, but this is just an experiment. And yeah, after I'm done drawing this, I will show you guys the other ones I drew. This one I'm just trying to do a little bit fast. And the perfect bottom jaw should be a little bit smaller than the top jaw, so it shouldn't come all the way in contact. I'm going to do the same thing I did to the top jaw, but I'm going to make a tiny little point. So it's a tinier little spike at the bottom. I made it make that steep enough. So it's not as big, but it's just a little smaller, or a lot smaller, but it makes it look cooler in the end. And then the bottom, you can invert the teeth if you want to make it more scary. But I'm going to do it normal. You make one tooth, the front tooth, bigger than the other ones. And these ones have to be thicker because you're going to have 3 teeth at the bottom row instead of as many as you put the top row. You can add 4 if you want, but it looks better when you do 3. You just make the inside teeth a little bit smaller. Not by much. Not by much for the bottom row. Just a little smaller. That one's too tall. You just make it a little bit shorter. Not like you did the top ones. Like, you made those a lot shorter. And then you put bigger gaps in between the teeth. I messed up, so I had to fix the first bit I did on the bottom jaw. So it should have a smaller diagonal line, but that's okay because I needed to do that. Make it look better. Okay. So when you add that line up there and connect the top jaw, what you're going to do is from this bit of the skull right there, where it meets the end of the tooth, is you're going to bring a curved line going down. Like that. And you'll see why later, but let's do this at the jaw. And same thing with you did the top jaw, you're going to add, but you're going to add 2 teeth in between. So you're going to do the top tooth. And if you're wondering where I did the video, I'm doing it downstairs because they have a movie playing upstairs, and I don't want to get copyright or demonetized. It's probably not going to get demonetized. It might because of the copyright, but yeah. So that's why I'm doing it down here. So there's 1 tooth in, and then the second tooth goes in. And then, I'll fix that. It doesn't look that good. But again, it doesn't have to be perfect. But I would like it to be as perfect as I can get it. There you go. There's the bottom jaw. I'm just gonna quickly move this tooth over just a little bit. But I got the bottom jaw done. And that's basically it for the outline. So you can see how we started with a really, really small head, and then we got bigger for the snout, or the jaw, if you want to call it. So, also here's my mechanical pencil that I usually use, but I was having a hard time to use it because I had to be at an angle for this. So, you're going to take your fine point Sharpie or marker or whatever. I have a marker pen, and you're going to outline from the fin. So, I won't show you the whole outlining process. I'll show you, but I will come back and show you what not to outline. See you in a little bit. And welcome back. This took me a couple minutes, but I forgot that you had to add another fin here. So if you didn't outline, like if you paused the video and then outlined it, well, that's okay. You could just restart the video, redraw it, and add the fin instead. So it's the same exact one as this one, just behind and not as long because it's behind, so it's going to look shorter. But if you did and outline, well, then good for you. You waited, you didn't pause the video. You want to color in the teeth. You color in around the center part of the eye. You color this in right here because it's the other side of the jaw. You color all the teeth in, and you color the little you color in between the 2 backwards C's in the nose. So here's what it looks outlined. And you also don't outline any bits that are over the front. So you don't outline this end of the jaw, this part of the jaw, or you know, the head right here. You don't outline this bit, or this bit right here, or this bit. As you can see, I have not outlined them, but I outlined this bit because this is behind. So, yeah. And I'm gonna wait a little bit. Wait for this to like dry, kind of. because I just used the Sharpie. So when I come back, you'll see that I've erased all the pencil marks. Okay, that didn't really take long. It was just like 2 minutes. But try not to make your lines as dark as I can. I don't know if you can see, but it's hard to see on camera. But there are still some outline. I can still see the lines from my outline. You can't see it on camera, which is good. But in person, that gets in the way. And then you're probably wondering what we need the black pen for. This is for the detailing. So right here, this bit, you're just going to draw a bunch of lines or wiggle the pencil up and down. Or the pen, not pencil, sorry. You're going to do lines up and down. Make sure they're evenly spaced. You can't see on the camera, but they're supposed to be evenly spaced. And there is a drawing tutorial already out. It's where I learned how to draw. So if you want to go watch that instead of watching me, you can. But if you want to watch me, because I go in more in depth, I show how to detail it. But you could detail your own way. He doesn't show how to detail it, so I taught myself how to detail it. And where the jaw is, right there, you're going to draw a little line with your pen. Just a little bit out. Not too far. And then in that spot, you're going to do what you did up here. All the way to the end of it. Not to the end of the gas splash, but to the end of the bottom jaw bit. So it feels like that. And then you're going to draw a line. Try to make sure it's not a consistent line. Like that, kind of. A little bit more pointy. And then do the same. But you don't have to. You could just draw a bunch of things for it. And right under the eye, you're going to draw 3 lines. The first one, short. Second one, a little bit longer. And the third one, the same size as the first one. You're going to draw a little U. Like that. Dang it. It's not focused. No, it is focused. Okay, good. You're going to draw a little U. And then around the teeth, you're going to add parentheses. So you're going to add these around in all the teeth. It's hard to see the camera with the teeth, but you're going to add them in all the teeth that are colored in. You're going to add them in the spikes and around all the sharp edges. So any pointed edges, you can add them in. So around the nose, you can add them. And if you want, you can add pound symbols or hashtags in places. Or you could do parentheses with a little line in the middle, like this. And then you can also inverse the parentheses. No, I drew that the same way. You can inverse the parentheses as well to get whatever you want. So, for the bottom jaw, I'm going to do the pound symbol or hashtag right there. It's hard to see, but that's what I did. And up here at this point, I'm going to do the 3 lines. So, the 1, 2, and the 1 going in the middle. And you do so same thing for the fin. Means we're going to meet contact with the head. You don't have to do it the way I'm doing it, but this is the way I usually do it. And one at the point, I invert it. So, I invert the one next to where the fin meets the head. And then I do it the normal way, where the fin doesn't meet the head. And for the bottom fin, if you have the lip there, I would invert the one and the bottom jaw and a hashtag or a pound symbol and just add them around just any one of the ones I've showed you. Around. Don't over detail it, because then it won't look great. But afterwards, on person, if you were following what I said, it looks pretty cool. I'm going to go upstairs right now and grab the gas flasher I did make. They're a little bit smaller, but they're easier to see on camera. I'll be right back. Okay, how are you doing? I'm back. And here's one of the gas flashers I made. It's easier to see on camera, but I did the same things. But I made it a little bit longer, and the fin goes straight out instead of curving up. And the eye was the eye I showed you earlier. It doesn't have, and it has a little straight point at the nose. This one, it's a little bit bigger, almost the same as here. It doesn't have the point, but it's armored. I put little armor pieces on it because I had messed up making an outline and then made the pencil lines too dark, so I couldn't erase them. So, yeah, that's the backstory of why I made it armored. And then I have a little small one. Not a thing special, but it looks really cool in person. You make them as big as you want, small as you want. I made one that fills up this whole paper in about 5 minutes. But that's enough for me. I'll show you the 5-minute tutorial. I'll leave that in the description, and so you can go check him out. But he doesn't go very in-depth in his tutorial. And if you're still in the end, thanks for sticking around and watching to the end of the video. There's nothing really special, but it'd really help if you could tell your friends about me so I can have a successful YouTube career. You guys really like my stick nodes update videos, so I'll give you guys a link to the stick nodes video down in the description. So go check them out. All this stuff will be in the description below. See you next time. Goodbye.